Hi, this part of the lecture will discuss about the premises of the theory. The strategic family therapy instills the communication theory that discussed on how verbal and non-verbal messages are exchanged, the process between people in the system versus the inner conflicts, the what rather than the why, the communication patterns versus the content, and the faulty communication patterns that would lead to family dysfunction. All behavior is communication and contains messages. All messages have report and command function. The report or content of the message conveys information. The command function may be implicit or implied. Implicit means not direct or not directly expressed. For example, the report says, "Mom, the big brother just insulted me." It may convey a command, "Do something about it." Please, mom, do something about it. The command is not captured by words alone, but also through non-verbal communication, such as sobbing voice and etc. In families, command messages are patterned as rules. It is termed as family rules. Relationships are defined by command messages. Strategic family therapy emphasizes short-term treatment of maximum about 10 sessions only. Strategic family therapy is also characterized as brief therapies. It has to do more with the clarity about what needs to be changed rather than with time. Strategic family therapy pay extreme attention to details of the symptoms. Symptoms are the result of misguided attempts at changing an existing difficulty and also a homeostatic mechanism regulating marital or family transactions. Strategic family therapy viewed systems as resulting from clients' failure to take action or they are taking wrong action while facing difficulty. The treatment of strategic family therapy should be pragmatic, which means dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. For example, theoretically or in theory, every problems, regardless of it is small or big, that happen in the family need to be discussed with all family members. We get everyone understand about the issue, then together we find ways out about it. However, in a critical situation, such as we have family member who are critically ill, does that realistic to discuss every single small little thing there and then? I don't think so. It should be addressed when the situation is permissible, right? That's what it means by the treatment should be pragmatic. Strategic family therapy regards the normal families are flexible enough to modify solutions that do not work and flexible enough to adjust to development. The center of attention for the strategic family therapy is on changing behavior by manipulating it and not instilling the insight. Strategic family therapy focus on changing in behavior rather than changing in understanding. Strategic family therapy frequently used metaphors and stories as ways of making suggestions and dealing with the clients. It is important for the therapist to not only use metaphors but also to be able to understand the issue of the metaphors used by the client. For example, when the client says, "I am up against the wall," what does that mean? It means the client is in a difficult or troubling situation in which his or her options or ability to act are quite limited or constrained. When the client says, I am down in the dumps, what does that mean? It means the client is feeling discouraged, depressed, or sad. When the client says, I am trapped, I am caged, I see no way out, what does that mean? It means the client is in an unpleasant situation in which he or she is feeling lack of freedom and cannot escape from it. Another example, the client who had been committing into substance abuse of drug was saying, I feel so dirty. What does that mean? So the therapy might want to also respond to the client after some progress has been made during the following session using similar metaphors too, such as, how do you feel now? Are you feeling clean now? In general, strategic family therapies concentrate on the following dimensions of family life. Family rules. It means the overt and covert rules families use to govern themselves, such as you must only speak when spoken to. Family homeostasis. The tendency of the family to remain in its same pattern of functioning unless challenged to do otherwise. For example, getting up and going to bed at the same time. Quid pro quo. The responsiveness of family members to treating others in the way they are treated. That is something for something. Redundancy principle. The fact that a family interacts within a limited range of repetitive behavioral sequences. Punctuations. The idea that people in a transaction believe that what they say is caused by what others say. Symmetrical relationships and complementary relationships. The fact that relationships within a family are both among equals or symmetrical and among unequals or complementary. Circular causality. The idea that one event does not cause another, but that events are interconnected and that the factors behind a behavior such as a slap or a kiss are multiple.